You're live.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Camari. That's very exciting. So I'm glad you were my first guest because somebody had to tell me exactly how this works.
Ah, my
Good afternoon, everybody. It's attorney Danielle Patterson, candidate for the 190th state legislative seat in Pennsylvania. For those who don't know, it's West Philly, baby. I am here today with Camari Ellis, the finance rebel, because we had some very specific questions that were asked to me, not just following up on the stimulus package, but generally people are really concerned about their finances during this unstable and unsteady time. So some of the things that have been coming to our offices over at 267-291-4702, that's 267-291-4702, have to do mainly with all the packages that are telling us, hey, there's going to be a mortgage relief package. There's going to be a rental relief package. Oh, well, there's a stay on my cell phone bill. There's a stay on PGW. There's a stay on PICO. Should I pay because I have the money? So instead of me making it up and giving you bad advice, we decided to ask the experts. So we're here with Camari Ellis. Camari, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Danielle. Thank you for having me on. I'm Camari Ellis, as Danielle said. A lot of people call me the finance rebel. I'm the founder of Philly Tax Team, and I'm always online or radio or TV somewhere trying to help people increase their financial IQ. So, yeah, there's a lot of speculation going on right now about the government stimulus package. Is it going to be $1,000 per person, $2,000 per person? Is the airlines going to be bailed out? What's going to happen? Well, all of it's still kind of up in the air. I know the Senate has a bill that they've talked to the president about, but they still have not confirmed it with Congress just yet, or the House of Representatives, rather. So I've seen some things. I'm sure there's going to be money that goes to citizens directly, and I'm sure there's going to be money to go to big industry directly to bail both of those out. However, I'm still not sure about the fine numbers or the fine print. And also, I'm still not sure, exactly what the numbers are going to be. But in the interim, what I'm basically telling everybody that, that because I've been getting asked a lot of the same questions as well about, should I pay my bills? Should I hold off? What should I do? So if you are in a position that's relatively safe, your income's relatively safe, you still got your job or your business and it's still making money, I would say be cautious about paying some of your bills. I would still pay your bills, right? But be cautious. Don't spend a lot. Don't spend a lot of extra because, we still can order out and get Uber Eats and Diner Dash and all that. I still would be very conservative. Cook your meals and try to conserve money as much as possible. However, for those who've been newly laid off, totally caught off guard, haven't gotten their self-employment package, or excuse me, their unemployment benefits yet,
Mm-hmm.
I would be very, very, very cautious because we don't know how long things are going to go for. There's still not a whole lot of clear leadership out of the White House about what's supposed to happen. And I would say pay your bare minimums. If you were trying to pay down debt, I wouldn't worry about that right now. So keep your money in your pocket, because if you pay, if you're paying back a credit card or an old debt, they're not going to give you that money back if you need to buy food or if you need to buy gas. So, keep your money in your pocket as much as possible. We do have to stay on certain utilities. Haven't heard the one about cell phone bill. I just paid my cell phone bill.
Well, no. So, actually, not only that there was a stay on the cell phone bills being due, they even upped the gigs and no throttling. So if you just had a limited plan, you actually got an unlimited data plan because they know that Wi-Fi is important. So we got these kids at home that are trying to distance learn. We've got people who are relying upon all their information. You may not know this, but interestingly, I do because I'm running for office. 94% of African Americans get their news from Facebook.
I did not know that. I'm totally, wow. Okay.
And of those 94% that get their news from Facebook, 91% only have access through their mobile phones.
Put a pin in that. I want to come right back to that. I just want to finish my final point because I just paid on my cell phone bill. I wonder if I call them, can I get my money back? See how that goes. But, pay the bare essentials, right? Just make sure everything stays on. Again, most utilities are not having that problem. They've been extending leniency as it relates to shutoffs and other things. But, I wouldn't also let my bills just rack up either. Just continue to pay something on them because we know when the moratorium is over, they're going to want their money. Hopefully they'll be forgiving and give everybody time and grace. But, that might not happen. So I'm just saying be prepared.
So now, interestingly, I'm going to cut in right here because we talked about we don't know what they're going to do. So actually, in talking to some other folks and then kind of reading the additional, rules on like the PR, what's that thing called? The PRC, the thing cap rate plan, all the stuff I'm never eligible for. But that one of the things is that there have been discussions about increasing the incomes coming into households so that you'd be cap rate eligible. I never get which one it is that decreases PICO versus decreases PGW. But the point of that is what someone actually suggested, another finance expert, was that you don't pay the bill so that you were behind enough to actually benefit from programs that you would actually become eligible for as a result of this crisis. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that's a great point. I mean, you want to do whatever you can to stay eligible for these programs because while we don't know that how long this is going to be, we do know we're going to make it through it, right? Every time this country and the world overall is faced with something major like this, we always pull through. Will there be some damage along the way? Absolutely. But when we get to the other side of this, we still want to be able to survive and do well and not be trying to pinch pennies and pay our bills as well.
Well, the other thing is, as interest rates have been lowered, okay, thinking about that for mortgages, do you see any change for those folks who are in good standing, let's say with credit card debt, as to whether or not they'd be able to renegotiate some of those interest rates?
I think you're always available to renegotiate. I mean, the biggest thing is to ask. Many times we don't ask. And so ask not, want not, a closed mouth don't get fed. So, I always ask for asking, whether it's for interest rates and or the annual fees that many credit cards charge. So I would ask to waive them. I would ask to pay them down. You're in a better position to do that if you have had a good payment history, though, over the last, 6, 12, 18, 36 months. But again, I would still ask.
And what about moving money around? So, okay, we're all having, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever been in a rob Peter to pay Paul situation, but I think that this is actually a time that this could work for you. So, example, what do we know? We know that there is a moratorium on student loan interest and student loan payments here in Pennsylvania, specifically talking about Pennsylvania. New York is actually going further with the amount of time that you'd be in ineligible payment status, right? So if you have student loans, and let's say you're paying $100 a month for student loans, and for 90 days you don't have to pay it, that's $300 additional dollars. Maybe that's the time to take that money and get that snowball effect and pay off some of those high interest credit card rates. What do you think?
I'll be honest. I would let the credit cards wait. I would just save the money in my own personal bank account. Again, I wouldn't be cavalier. And again, I just want to be clear. I am not promoting being irresponsible or not paying your bills. But what I am saying is that we are in an unprecedented time. I don't know when the restrictions are going to be made available again. I've tried to get toilet paper several times and I still can't get it. So what happens if, that happens to food, or if that happens to gas, or if that happens to something else? One way or another, you're still going to need your cash to bargain and buy things. And you might have to travel out further or go to places that you haven't gone before to buy your goods. So me personally, I would just save all my money right now. But again, and if that's the case, if you are worried, pay your minimums. Pay your minimums, on your credit cards, just to make sure that you're definitely in the clear. But I would have a hard time believing that any credit bureau is going to ding your credit right now if you had any of these issues. But again, I'm not the credit expert. I stick to tax and investments.
We'll find a credit expert to talk to us specifically on these issues.
I got one for you. I got several for you.
There you go. We always like to bring them on and tell the people exactly what's going on, especially as it relates to us living here in Pennsylvania, and specifically in the 190th, where we have the kind of population that need this kind of information. Yep. So thinking about that, and not just paying the bills, we've got a bill that actually, as of today, we were just told we don't have to pay it until April 30th, and that is property taxes. Property taxes would have been due by the 15th of March. And so now there's an extension on real property taxes through April 30th, with a thought on extending that time actually to May 30th. So I want people to know that, because, you know, it's every little bit helps at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what about those income taxes? So we know that tax filing date is July the 15th. Should we file now or not?
Yes, you should absolutely file now. And the reason why I say you should file now, because I know everybody wants to procrastinate when it comes to filing their taxes, but coronavirus, COVID-19 is still not under control. We just got to update that the world outbreak is at over 400,000 people right now. And so what happens if the IRS experiences an outbreak within some of their facilities? They'll be all closed down. So if you think about the government shutdown last year, where the IRS got furloughed, they had a skeleton crew there working. They still piled up over $3 or 4 million pieces of mail, right? And so who has to process all that? So if this does happen, and the way the IRS works in your processing centers, there's no social distancing, so that's not a thing. And so if that outbreak does happen there, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but everything's going to be delayed. So get your stuff now, get it in now. They're being a little bit more lenient on people that pay. They've extended again the filing period to July 15th and the payment date for July 15th. However,
I didn't know about the payment date. So what does that mean?
So you what does that mean? Right. So you have until July 15th to make your payment for 2019 tax season. However, if you had a previous installment arrangement, you want to keep paying on that, or you want to right now try to amend your installment arrangement. And they are experiencing high volume right now. And even some of their local offices are being closed down. But if you can't get them, I would, if you have an installment agreement, I would send in an amendment to your previous installment agreement and ask for them to lower the payment. So let's say your installment arrangement is $300 a month. Send in, and you can comfortably do $200. Send in the form to redo that and put on there $200 and continue to pay that $200. So if it comes back up, they won't try to ding you for not paying the $300. And again, it's a world pandemic. So everybody kind of has an excuse. Still got to be responsible, though. You still got to communicate. So don't use this as an excuse just to kind of go in hiding and not say anything.
So actually, I think that we kind of answered this there. We're going to just go over here to these lines because we've had some questions. And that Erica out in West Philly would like to know, how about mortgage payments? Can you renegotiate those, or should we continue to pay them even if there's a moratorium on payments? In other words, they're offering that grace period.
I would hoard. Okay, back. If you have consistent income coming in, yes, I would pay them. If you don't, so for example, I work for myself. Matter of fact, I had a client skate out on me yesterday and not pay me for some work I didn't do. So my cash flow is up and down. So I am very, very cautious about the payments I'm making right now. I'm paying the bare minimum. Come see me later, but I'm paying the bare minimum now. But if your income is fairly even and steady and stable, pay your bills on a timely fashion. But again, save your money and try not to be too loose with what you're doing with it.
Well, Ava wants to know, what about her 401k loans? I'm sorry, is it a good time to dip or not?
On the 401k loans?
Yes, that's what it says, 401k loans. So how about you answer for both? Because I don't think 401k loans are different. So first,
Yes.
can you explain to folks out there who may not even know that you can take a loan against your 401k? So please tell us about what she's actually talking about, and then try to answer.
Okay, so let's talk about it. 401k, right? 401k is a retirement program that's offered at your job. Your employer offers you that. Sometimes they give you money to put into the plan. Sometimes they don't. All of it is a tax advantage, or will help lower your tax benefit when you put money into the plan out of every paycheck. Now, most 401ks, not all, but most 401ks allow you to take a loan, and usually you cannot exceed more than 50% of your balance in your 401k. So, for example, if you have $50,000 in your 401k, more than likely you're not allowed to do a loan larger than $25,000. Now, I'm getting a lot of questions about 401ks. Should they move the cash? Everybody's nervous. Should they reallocate? The first thing I'm telling everybody is now is a great time to look at their 401k and reallocate their 401k. So what that means is you might have a mix of different investments. You might have some money in bonds, some money in stock, some money in a guaranteed account. Every 401k has different investment options. So now's the time to reevaluate and see where you need to put all of those funds. Do you need to, again, you got $50,000 in there. Do you need to put 10% in stocks, which would be $5,000? Do you need to put 90%, roughly 90% in bonds, which would be roughly $45,000? You have to determine what your overall mix is, which works for you. And people that do it well in advance are not seeing massive drawdowns like a lot of people who kind of ignore them. And it's not, but
sorry. Well, I was just going to say to the public at large is that check out Camari Ellis's Facebook page and his YouTube page. He's actually going to be offering some services around 401ks to the public at large to see if he can help you to continue and service you during this very difficult time. I think, Ava, that might actually be a good thing for you to get some one-on-one assessment, because honestly, I really don't know. Like, I'm listening to you and I'm still confused. Actually, I'm going to tell y'all. When Camari actually told me about it, he said, I really want to reach out to the community and I want to help them. And I want to, do you think they want to reallocate? Do you think they want to review? I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't know how to do any of that. I am definitely one of those stick your head in the sand and don't watch the stock market fall. I can't. I just can't. I look at it and however, there was a 2,000 point rebound yesterday. But that was also before Trump actually spoke. So I don't know what happened after that.
And the market's rebounding today too.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear it. So, because the whole thing stresses me out. Just, all I think is I finally started saving some money and now they're taking it all from me.
Well, you have the power though. You can't stick your head into the sand. I know that's what most people do. That's what average Americans do. That's what average people do here in the city of
Well, I don't stick my head in the sand. I just call you and tell you to do it.
That is correct. That. And she calls it weird times too. She's not lying when she says that.
The answer is you do it, because I don't really want to.
Right.
See, I'm gonna tell you, I am one that when I need the experts, I can always find them.
But let me say one more thing about 401k loans, because this is key. If you had a 401k loan and you got laid off, you could potentially be looking at a tax event. You might owe some tax money on that. So just be careful about that. Make sure you talk to the HR. Make sure you talk to your tax professional so you can get ahead of that and know what you might be looking at.
And then finally, there was this last part of the bill, and it actually ended up getting held up in the House. That part of the bill, just as actually, I just want you to know that Camari predicted it would, because the third time I think they've tried to get this through. But so many people wanted to know what was cryptocurrency. They didn't even understand what it was. And this is one of those highly technical things that there are people who understand and people who don't. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm one of those people who do not understand it, which is why I immediately called Camari, and that's actually how the conversation got started about today. So can you please explain what cryptocurrency is and what this bill, possibly could have done for us?
Well, I'm still unclear why they have that in there. I'm trying to get a little bit more clarity.
Because everybody has to put the pork in. The Democrats put in cryptocurrency. The Republicans put in no money for Planned Parenthood. It has nothing to do with anything else, but let's get our pet projects in while we can.
Right. I saw somebody want to do like 50 million for museums. I'm just like, wow. But, yeah. But just a kind of a basic ABC definition of what cryptocurrency is. It's computer money. Somebody on a computer online somewhere creates money and they distribute it to their network. And then oftentimes the network will use it to buy goods and services from people inside their network. The most popular cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. And so if you saw, a lot of people were going crazy over Bitcoin. I think it was the end of 2017. It hit a little bit under 19 or 20,000. Since then, it's dropped. It's dropped massively. So I want to say the last time I looked, it was around 6,000 or 5,500. But, you know, a lot of people like the cryptocurrencies because they are, quote unquote, outside of the realm of the government. But we found that's not true. A lot of people like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, because they can do illegal transactions without the oversight of the government. But the government has gotten ahead of all that, and they're actually starting to look at them with a heavy hand right now, and is starting to audit them a lot more. They're lining up to audit them a lot more. So the IRS deems it as an asset, just like real estate, just like stocks. If you buy and sell them, you got to pay tax on them. All right. If you can, some people can accept them as payments. There's not a lot of people that do it, but there's a good amount out there that do. You still have to declare that as income. The government, I guess, is looking to add this into the bill because they want to get in front of what's going on with these cryptocurrencies, because a lot of financial institutions and the banks are starting to get involved with them as well. So I'm guessing that some lobbyist somewhere paid one of the Congress people or senators to include this in the bill because it will benefit one of their clients. But again, I don't really see what the rationale.
Now, you know, our government would never do that.
Never. Crystal clean. Yep. Squeaky clean, like Arm & Hammer. But, you know, again, I don't know why they would do that. I don't see the real benefit for U.S. citizens at this point when we're dealing with a global crisis. The only thing I can say is maybe that they think that the overall monetary system, the cash currency system, may be interrupted some kind of way with the spread. But again, if that happens and banking fails, you got a lot more problems on your hand than just a cryptocurrency coming to the rescue.
Now, we're going to wrap it up, but I just want to remind everybody out there, any of you folks in West Philadelphia who are experiencing any kind of crisis during this and have questions, my office is available to help you virtually. As you see, I'm in social media studios, as is most of my office is at home, but we're responding to any questions that you have. So if you have any questions about how to fill out those applications, do your Accomplice apps, the applications, apply for any additional subsidies and funds, there are some available, not really many. As you know, they're all coming down from up high, but we are here up to the minute in real time to help you at 267-291-4702. That's Danielle Patterson for State Rep at 267-291-4702. And we'll help you fill out those applications and locate resources. I'm going to hand it back over to Camari Ellis, and he's going to tell you about the Philly Tax Team and how you can reach out to him.
So like we talked about earlier, if anybody needs to get their taxes done, I tell you not to delay. Don't wait for the July 15th deadline. If you have any questions, you can text me, 484-278-1357. Again, 484-278-1357. And feel free to email me as well. My email is Camari, which is CAMARI, at phillytaxteam.com. Well, thanks for having me on, Danielle, and good luck.
Thank you so much. We're excited. Thanks, Camari.
Bye-bye.